Good morning and welcome. Let us continue with this point, that is absolute humidity. Absolute humidity. Okay. The amount of water vapor in a 1 cubic meter of air is the absolute humidity of that air. For examples, the absolute humidity of the air near the coastal area is higher than air in the interior part. Absolute humidity is higher in the equatorial area, while it reduces as we go towards the polar region. Okay. Here is the distributions of a land and water on the earth, and the season also affect the absolute humidity. Relative humidity means comparative. मराठीमध्ये तुलनात्मक आर्द्रता. ह्युमिडिटी म्हणजे आर्द्रता, सापेक्ष आर्द्रता. द अमाउंट ऑफ वॉटर वेपर present in air can be expressed as a percentage of the amount needed to be saturations at the same temperature and same volume. It expressed in a percentage. So we express this amount of water vapor, that is a relative humidity RH in a percentage, is equal to absolute humidity upon vapor holding capacity into 100. So this is the mathematical expressions of the to finding out the proportion of relative humidity, that is absolute humidity upon vapor holding capacity into 100. So what will, here we have questions, that is what will be the relative humidity of air whose absolute humidity is at 20 gram per meter cube and vapor holding capacity is 30 gram per meter per cubes. Okay. After this lectures I will send you this mathematical expressions of relative humidity. Okay. On the basis of examples given above, tell which air is saturated. So we have to find out the saturated air with the mathematical expression. The amount of water vapor changes according to the difference in the temperature. Similarly, relative humidity also changes. Generally, relative humidity is more in the morning and at night. In the afternoon, as the temperature increases, relative humidity decreases. Near coastal areas, the relative humidity is more, so the air is moist. In desert area, relative humidity is less because of dry air. The teacher should make two groups of a student. Here is try this. Okay. So we will look, we have to do an experiment under the supervision of teacher. So here are the two pictures of a two expression. Take water in a pressure cooker, take off the vessel of the pressure cooker. Now heat the cooker, take a lid of handle. After water starts boiling, hold the lid at the distance from where the steam is going out. Observe what happened. You must have observed that the water changed into the water vapors after it was heated. Secondly, the vapor turns into the water droplets when it touches the cooler lid. We can see water droplets deposited on the lid. Okay. Here is a condensation. Here is a condensation point, new point. Okay. And secondly, the other groups should carry out the following activity. Take a glass with a flat bottom, put some ice cubes in it. Ice cubes in it. Keep the glass in a room for 2 to 3 minutes. What did you see? So mixture of the smoke, fog, sometime in some time you will see the droplets of a water on the outer surface of the glass. When the water vapors in the air comes into contact with the cold surface, the condensation took place. These droplets form a outer surface of the glass. So when the water vapors come into contact with the glass, it turns into the water droplets. In the first activity, the steam from the cooker cooled and condensed into water droplet, and in second activity, the vapors in the air condensed into water droplets. So condensation Sandribhavan, densifications Ghanibhavan, sublimation Urdhvapatan. These are the three uh, process, three conditions of a process. The process of changing water vapors in the air into water is called as a condensation or a densification, and also the process of vapor changing into the solid states is called sublimation. So these are the definitions of these 3 points, that is condensation, densification and sublimation. If the temperature of the air reduces, its vapor holding capacity also reduces. When relative humidity of air becomes 100%, vapors start condensing. At this time, the temperature of the air should be at dew point. It implies dew points means the at the on the edge from which on the point from which the dews are going to happen, water droplets are happens. It implies that for condensation, temperature should be low and relative humidity must be high. In a free environment, condensations of a vapor in air occurs around fine particles in the air, that is dust, salt, etc. Dew, frost and fog. These are one of the type or kinds of the water droplets or water vapor are formed. These are formed. Dew, frost and fogs are formed of condensations at the ground level, while clouds are formed condensation at higher elevation. Next point is clouds and the types of clouds. This is the main point or a relatively important point, uh, the formation of clouds and the types of clouds. Okay, the clouds are formed of condensations at higher elevations. Condensation occurs around a minute particles in the atmosphere. Condensed water and snow particles in the clouds are very fine and almost weightless, and so clouds float in the air. Raindrops, the maximum diameter of 5 mm. Land and water get heated because of heat of the sun. Air near the surface heat ups rises and becomes the less dense. Hot air rises up, and as it goes higher, the temperature of the air reduces and the moisture holding capacity of the air reduces. Relatively, humidity keeps increasing. The water vapor in the atmosphere turns into water and snow. This is the dew point level of the air. The level of condensation is determined by the water vapor in the air. Keep in mind keep in mind that the freezing point are also dependent on the altitude and water vapor. Because of condensation, fine particles of ice and water float in the air. The greater height they accumulate, the around dust particle in the air and become larger size. So here the clouds become very large in size due to this condensation and fine particles of the ice. Their accumulations together is called cloud. Because of vertical flow of the wind, they float in the atmosphere like a kite, which float in the air. As it moves higher and higher, the clouds too float in the atmosphere because of vertical flow. Here are the pictures of different types of clouds and its altitude that at the lower altitude we have a different kind of clouds. In the medium altitude we have different kind of clouds, and at the higher altitude we have different type of clouds. Okay, so clouds are found at the different altitude above mean sea level. Clouds which form a greater altitude are the form from very fine particles of snow particles. The process of evaporation and condensation occurs consecutively in the cloud. Specific type of cloud causes rainfall on the earth. The proportion of vapor is more near the earth's surface. As we go higher away from the sea level, the most amount of vapors the decreases. Hence the clouds at the lower altitudes are higher in a size, and while the clouds at the higher altitudes are smaller. So here are the types of clouds and general altitude in meters. These are the name of that clouds: cirrus, uh, cirrostratus, cirrocumulus, altocumulus, stratocumulus, stratus, nimbostratus, cumulus, and cumulonimbus. So these are the types, and general altitudes are 7 to 14,000 for cirrostratus and cirrocumulus, 2 to 7,000 meters altostratus and altocumulus, and less than 2,000 meters it is stratus and nimbostratus, and extant clouds are variables. Clouds are formed at the different altitude in the atmosphere. So we are gathering more and more informations with the reading. Okay, because each and every stanza and lines having the more information, so we read these lessons thoroughly. Okay. There is need of very small explanations of the definitions: condensation, densification, sublimation, etc., and the types of clouds. Hmm? The clouds are formed in a different altitudes in the atmosphere. After observations, we can divide these clouds into three main types. So here also clouds also divided into three main types. The height from the base of a clouds is taken into considerations. If clouds are at an altitude of 7,000 to 14,000, then they are considered to be the very high cloud. If they are at the altitude around 2000 meters to 7000 meters, then they are considered to the medium clouds. And if they are at the altitude less than 2000 meter, they are low clouds. It was shown in the picture. Okay. High clouds, these clouds are mainly made up of ice particle. They can be classified into cirrocumulus and cirrostratus. Cirrus clouds are mainly wispy. Wispy means small grass stick. Cirrocumulus clouds look like a group of small waves. Cirrostratus are look like a bed sheet and wrinkles. Folding, like a foldings. Okay. They generally have a halo around them. Medium clouds, these includes altocumulus and altostratus. Altocumulus are in the form of layer, and while and having a wave-like structure, they are mostly white in color and have a gray shade. Altostratus are not very thick. The sun can be seen through them, and if seen through milky glass. Low cloud, these consist of 5 types of clouds. Stratocumulus having layers, their colors are white and earthy, round clusters of clouds. Be here a stratus cloud also have layers. They are ash colored, and their base is uniform. Nimbostratus has a thick layers. They are grayish in a color and causes continuous rainfall and even snowfall in some region. Cumulus cloud, these clouds are formed extensively from 500 meters to 600 meters altitude, and the vertical flow of the air adds the formations of this cloud. These are the huge and the dome shaped. They are gray in color. Cumulus cloud are an indicator of a pleasant weather. The vertical expanse of these clouds increase so much that they turn into cumulonimbus cloud and bring rain. So these are the one types of clouds which form at the at 500 meters to 600 meters altitude. It and that cloud is responsible for the rainfall. Cumulonimbus cloud, these are characteristics cloud which are indicators of thunderstorm. These look like a huge mountain. These are dense and dark in color. There is a thunder accompanied by lightning. They brings rain with the storm and make sometime bring the hailstones. But such type of rains does not last long. So it is for a short period. Okay. The largest of these clouds bring rainfall accompanied with lightning. The top portions of these clouds has an unwheel like a shape. The clouds have a positive charge at the upper side and a negative charge at the lower end. The land below them always have a negative charge due to difference in a charge. Electric charge are formed and lightning occurs. Lightning ups in the sky for a moment. The air in the lightning rises up because of heat in the leads to large thundering sound. As compared to the other clouds, the raindrops of these clouds are larger because they move up and down a lot times and accumulate more and more water. Drops becomes a larger and larger and are unable to float in the clouds because of their weight. They fall. They fall from fall in the form of rain. Sometimes the air in the clouds is very cold. As a result, the drop freezes and falls in the form of hails. We call the hailstones. So these are the thunderstorm um, experience on the earth because of this cumulonimbus cloud. Okay. And now this is on the last page. We have cloud burst. We experience this cloud burst in a different regions in a rainy season. The cloud burst is a type of precipitation. Raindrops coming towards the earth are stopped in the clouds itself because of a strong vertical winds. These drops changes into hails and make the cloud heavier. The vertical winds are unable to bear this weight. This leads to heavy rainfall and with the large size of hails and called a cloud burst. The lead it leads to rainfall in of more than 100 in the small area of a particular region. This type of precipitations mainly occurs in the mountainous region. The states through which the Himalayan ranges pass experience such as types of rainfall. So here we completed these lessons with the reading. Okay, you have to do the work homework this exercise given below. Okay. So we will stop here.